Hopefully you're already familiar with the integrated Zoom caller source that we have in QuickLink Create. Now, this is a very easy way to bring in a Zoom caller if you're utilizing Zoom calls in your production. As you probably know, you add the Zoom caller source and then just paste the meeting URL in here and then press OK. And that allows you to bring in multiple different Zoom callers into your production. Now, one of the limitations of this is that you can't bring in individual separate audio from these calls. When you add the meeting URL, you just pull in the entire meeting audio there. Now, one way around this would be to use Zoom Rooms. Now, Zoom Rooms allows you to pull in individual sources. Up to 12 NDI sources can be sent out of a Zoom Room call, and that gives you separate audio also. Now, Zoom Rooms, I should say, is not a free add-on to Zoom. It is a separate subscription, so check the pricing of that on the Zoom website. There is, however, a free trial that you can use if you are interested in potentially using it in your workflow. The normal usage of Zoom Rooms would be to have an actual room which is set up specifically for Zoom calls with all your devices in there, and you would call that or make a call from there and you can utilize it in your Zoom workflow. For this example, I guess I've cheated slightly, and what I've done is I've just used my ST102. I've added it to the same network as I'm working off. I've just downloaded the Zoom Rooms installer, which I can show you here. So I'm just connected to my other unit via TeamViewer here, and I have downloaded the Zoom Room application. As I said on here, let me just show you what it looks like. So if I exit out of there, I've literally just downloaded the Zoom Rooms application here. Once that's loaded on, you just open it up and sign in using your Zoom credentials. That is then ready to control as a Zoom room. Now, before we start controlling it or initiating any calls, we're just going to do a bit of the back-end setup. To do this, you'll need to log into your Zoom account from a web browser. See that I'm in here under Room Management and Zoom Rooms. We can see my one room here. If I click on that room, you can see all the devices that are available here. I've just literally got the computer here. I have a webcam plugged into that as well on this computer. Click the Room Settings tab here, and then the Meeting tab, and then in Meeting Advanced, and scroll a little way down in here, you'll see that you have Allow NDI Usage. So you will need to make sure that this is turned on, and if you want the separate audio, you will need to tick the box for separate audio also. Now, before you start, check that all your other resolution and frame rate settings are to your liking as well. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to initiate a Zoom call. You can use the Zoom Meetings application, as I'm going to here, or you could download the Zoom Rooms app on a mobile device or an iPad or something like that. So I'm going to come to Apps here. You see that I already have Zoom Rooms controller downloaded here. If you don't have it already, head to Discover. Then you can just search Zoom Room and it will come up there, and you can just download the Zoom Rooms controller. So as I've already got it, I'm just going to click Zoom Rooms controller here. Now I want to tap to control a nearby room. So as I said, it's on my network, my other unit, which is my Zoom Room. Control nearby room. I need a sharing key, which is in the top right of here. So there we go. I'm just going to pop that in there. Click OK. It will pair with my room, and now I'm ready to control that room. So this is the Zoom Rooms controller. Once you're connected to your room, you see that you've got your normal homepage where you can start your meetings, you can join a meeting, you can share content. Got a contacts page here as well. I have just got the one contact, which is myself, which is a little sad really, isn't it? And you've also got your settings here as well. So here you can check your microphone and speaker settings and your camera as well, obviously. In the advanced setting, if you didn't like your NDI settings that you set previously, you can change them here as well. So I'm going to come back to the home page. I'm going to start a new meeting. So that is going to initiate a meeting. You need to start the meeting from the Zoom room itself, because otherwise you won't have the NDI output options. So as you can see here, I have my room set up, and you can see I've got camera set up in my room. This is my Zoom room, and I'm now going to add the rest of my participants to this call. So what I'm going to do is invite by clicking invite. You can either email somebody here by popping their email address here. That'll send them the link to this meeting. If you have any contacts set up, you can just select them from here and then invite them. I'm going to join the room call. Select all of my correct devices. So you see now I have an active Zoom call. You can see I've come in here as a Zoom caller in with my room here as well. So I can minimize that. You can see I've got an active call on the go. Now, once I've invited all of my participants, I just need to come over here to view. Then on live on NDI, you have up to 12 outputs available here. So I'm just going to click on that and then select the room, which is my main room camera there. Then select my other caller, which is me as well. So now those NDI outputs are set up, I can head back over to Create and I can pull them into Create now. So what I'm going to do, you see here, I've got my project set up. I'm going to come down to a scene here. I'm going to right click to quick add a NDI source, create a new one. This is going to be Zoom Room 1. And then from the NDI source name drop-down menu, you can see I've got all of my Zoom Room NDI outputs here. So number 1 would be my Zoom Room. I'm going to OK that. I've just brought that camera in there. Number 2, I'm going to do the same thing, but just for my other caller. So this is going to be Zoom Room 2. And then select number 2 from here. Click OK. And there we go. I've just brought myself in as my other NDI source from my Zoom call. And the whole point of this was to get individual audio feeds. Now, as you can see here in the audio mixer section, I've clearly got 2 different separate audios from my 2 Zoom Room callers. So that is how to utilize Zoom Rooms in order to get separate audio via NDI into QuickLink Create. Thank you for watching. You can access other instruction videos on our YouTube channel or by navigating to support.quicklink.tv.